Some people come across as distant, almost guarding their words like gold. Is it arrogance? No. The truth is, 99% of the disasters in our relationships and the downfalls in our lives aren't due to a lack of ability. They are due to these two words running your mouth. Ernest Hemingway left us with a piercing warning. It took us 2 years to learn to speak, but it will take us 60 years to learn to shut up. Today, we're diving into a counterintuitive but absolutely crucial piece of wisdom for navigating life: the art of silence. Let's be clear from the start. This isn't about becoming weak or learning to run away. Quite the opposite. It's a high-level psychological strategy and a form of energy management. In our noisy, chaotic world, we're going to break down 6 critical moments when you must absolutely not speak. Understand these 6 points, and you can free yourself from exhausting interpersonal drama and effectively protect your wealth, your luck, and your personal energy. The last point is especially powerful. It's not just about being a good person. It's a master-level strategy that can instantly flip a losing situation in your favor. If you often feel drained by social interactions, or if you've ever ruined a great opportunity with just one wrong word, what follows will completely reshape your fundamental approach to life. First, 第一个道他的信, but not saying. This is about preserving someone's dignity, especially when they are vulnerable. In the complex adult world, the highest form of self-cultivation is choosing absolute silence when you see through someone's embarrassment, lie, or facade. This isn't fake politeness. It's a form of compassion born from a deep understanding of human nature, and a survival tactic to prevent someone from being cornered like a rat. Psychotherapist Evan Yalom suggested that everyone unconsciously builds a set of defense mechanisms. When someone brags about wealth they don't have, or clumsily tries to hide a glaring mistake, they are constructing a fragile psychological fortress to shield themselves from inner feelings of inadequacy, fear, and brokenness. That facade is the last piece of clothing they have in this cruel world. If someone publicly tears it down, the person doing the tearing often thinks they're being truthful or straightforward. But from a psychological perspective, this is an act of extreme cruelty. It's not just embarrassing, it's an attempt to destroy another person's sense of self-worth. Anyone who has read The Great Gatsby knows that Gatsby built an elaborate web of lies about his past to break into high society. Didn't the old money aristocrats around him know? Many of them probably saw right through him. But truly refined people never confronted him at a party. Why? Because tearing off someone's mask doesn't just humiliate them, it creates a deep, unforgettable hatred towards the person who did the tearing. There's a dark and true side to human nature. People often don't hate the one who hurt them, but they hate the one who witnessed their utter humiliation. In psychology, this is called the projection of shame. When someone's false image is shattered, the intense shame they feel transforms into a desire to attack the witness. In the workplace or social settings, you see this all the time. Someone is clearly pretending for the sake of pride, and everyone silently goes along with it. Then, a self-proclaimed smart person jumps in to correct their data, fix their pronunciation, or expose the truth. What's the result? They might be factually right, but they lose all respect. This kind of not saying isn't about protecting the lie itself. It's about protecting the person's last shred of dignity within their social circle. There's a famous scene in Dream of the Red Chamber. After watching a play, Wang Zifan comments that an actress looks just like someone, but she doesn't say who. Everyone else in the room knows she means Linda Yu, but they all stay quiet. In those times, actors were of the lowest social status, and saying it aloud would deeply embarrass Da Yu. Only Xiang Yun blurts it out, and it causes a rift. Often, only those with true inner strength and deep compassion for humanity understand that the truth isn't always the point. What matters is maintaining dignity in the moment. Leaving an escape route for others often means leaving a door open for your future self. This is a supremely high form of emotional intelligence. It transcends the simple duality of right and wrong, and rises to a level of deep empathy for human fragility. Mastering seeing, but not saying, is like learning to grow a gentle flower from the ruins of human weakness. Second, the charm for absolute silence. This is the moment when you achieve a major success or come into a significant sum of money. The logic behind this isn't just about social modesty. It's deeply rooted in psychology, game theory, and even energy dynamics. From an evolutionary psychology perspective, Jealousy is hardwired into our genes. It comes from our ancestors' primal fear of scarcity. In that zero-sum game, someone else's gain often meant your loss. While modern society has plenty, this primal instinct hasn't disappeared. Bertrand Russell put it sharply: beggars don't envy millionaires, but they will envy another beggar who gets a few more coins. When you loudly broadcast your success, you're essentially radiating anxiety into the people around you. This anxiety quickly ferments in their minds, turning into malicious, envious energy. This energy is real. It shows up as subtle sabotage at work, sarcastic comments from friends, or even outright rumors and slander behind your back. This is the famous crab effect. In a bucket, whenever one crab tries to climb out, the others will pull it back down. If I can't have it, you can't either. There's a deeper layer involving energy conservation and our subconscious mind. Neuroscience research has found that when you prematurely talk about a grand plan or a brilliant achievement, your brain gets a full sense of satisfaction from being seen. Dopamine is released early, deflating your drive. This leaking of energy makes you lose the momentum to keep striving or protect what you've gained. An ancient proverb says, "A matter succeeds in secrecy, but fails through loose talk." This doesn't just mean information leaks. It means your vital energy leaks. History is filled with tragic examples. Xiang Yu, the conqueror of Western Chu, said, "To have wealth and honor without returning home is like walking at night in embroidered clothes. Who knows about it?" This desperate need to show off sealed his fate, preventing him from enduring hardship like his rival Liu Ban, and he ultimately met his ends at the bank of the Wu River. Conversely, Napoleon Hill, after studying thousands of successful people, found that those who truly accumulated and kept great wealth were often remarkably low-key and tight-lipped in public. They understood that wealth and good fortune are like delicate plants. They need to take root and grow in the shadows. If exposed too early to the harsh sun, they wither. So, staying quiet about your achievements isn't false humility. It's a strategic concealment of your strength. It protects your personal energy field. When you're building power in the shadows, people around you hesitate to act because they don't know your hand. But once you reveal your cards, you lose all your strategic space to maneuver. True winners are those who get rich in silence, quietly reaping the benefits in this noisy world. Third, when facing someone with a completely different mindset, choose not to argue, not to teach, not to convince. This is a major energy black hole where ordinary people waste the most energy. Many people, with good intentions or a need to prove they're right, try to correct others' mistaken views. For example, trying to explain the power of compound interest and long-term thinking to someone addicted to get-rich-quick schemes, or discussing modern independence with someone trapped by outdated traditional thinking. This is fundamentally futile, even foolish. The biggest barrier between people isn't wealth or social class. It's their cognitive framework. This framework isn't just knowledge. It's the sum total of their upbringing, education, life experiences, and even traumas over decades. A person's beliefs are survival strategies they've developed to navigate their own world. Over 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Zhuangzi gave the ultimate answer. You can't discuss the ocean with a frog at the bottom of a well. You can't discuss ice with a summer insect. This might sound arrogant, but from a modern cognitive psychology standpoint, it's an objective description of a cognitive closed loop. If someone's thinking is stuck in a low-level loop, higher-level information isn't just noise. It can feel like an attack. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. The less competent someone is, the less they recognize their own incompetence, and the more they develop a false sense of confidence. When you try to use your logic to convince such a person, you're essentially trying to tear down the worldview they rely on to survive. This triggers a massive cognitive dissonance, which activates the brain's fight or flight response. The result is often you speak logic, they speak emotion. You speak facts, they speak nonsense. You present evidence, they invent conspiracies. In the end, you're left frustrated and angry, while they feel they've won a great victory. From a spiritual growth perspective, everyone has their own life lessons to learn. Some pits they have to fall into themselves, some walls they have to hit themselves. Intervening is often interfering with their karma, carrying a burden that isn't yours. Trying to change someone is an obsession. Being able to change someone is a miracle. Constantly trying to change someone makes you a menace. Faced with a difference in thinking, the most refined attitude is to simply shut up. It's about respecting another person's journey, respecting their right to live their life their own way, even if they seem foolish, even if you know they'll stumble. As legal scholar Luo Xiang often quotes, if you want to help someone, first make sure they actually want to stand up. If they're perfectly happy rolling around in the mud, trying to pull them out will only torment them. Not saying it's a kindness to them, but it's an even greater kindness to yourself. It avoids wasting your energy and saves your precious time for those who are on your wavelength. Fourth, the moment you must stay silent. This is when you're on the verge of extreme anger, grief, fear, or a complete breakdown. Modern brain science shows that when you're overwhelmed by strong emotions, the amygdala of the brain's emotional center completely takes over. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought, logic, and impulse control, temporarily goes offline. Psychologists call this an amygdala hijack. In this state, you may look like a person, but your internal responses have regressed to the level of a reptile or a wild animal. In moments like this, words aren't words anymore, they become weapons. They bypass all logical filters, aimed only at causing maximum damage. How many marriages have been irreparably broken by a phrase screamed in a fight, "Fine, let's get a divorce," or "I must have been blind to marry you"? How many careers have been destroyed by an employee firing off a furious, disrespectful retort to a boss? How many parents have left lifelong scars on their children by yelling, "What's wrong with you? Are you stupid?" in a moment of frustration? Words have a physical, irreversible presence. As the old saying goes, spilled water can be gathered, and harsh words linger. Physical wounds can heal, but the cuts words make on the soul can bleed for a lifetime. That pain is permanently stored by the hippocampus. President Lincoln had a famous habit of writing hot letters, a perfect example of high EQ emotional management. When he was furious with a particular general, he would write a scathing letter, pouring out all his anger, accusations, and curses onto the paper, but he never mailed it. He'd put it in his drawer and wait until the next day, when his emotions had settled. Rereading it, he would often see how extreme his words were, and he would burn the letter. This is a supreme form of self-cultivation. This not saying is a battle against the beast within. It demands that in the moment your cortisol is spiking and you want to destroy everything, you use sheer willpower to hit the pause button. It protects not only the other person, but also yourself from becoming a slave to your own emotions. If you don't speak, the emotion passes like a gust of wind. Once you speak, that emotion becomes solid a roadblock, a source of endless future regret. A person of character understands that silence is the best fire extinguisher for emotion, the safety valve that keeps your life from derailing due to 失控 losing control. To shut up when you most want to speak is a sign of evolving from our animal nature towards something divine. Fifth, never discussing, spreading, or judging others' privacy. In this age of information overload and voyeurism, gossip has become a social lubricant. People gather, building a cheap sense of alliance by exchanging the secrets of third parties. But this alliance is extremely fragile and dangerous. From a social exchange theory perspective, when you share someone else's private information, you're sending two very dangerous signals to your listener. First, you're untrustworthy and have no personal boundaries. Second, if we ever have a falling out, my secrets will be spread just as carelessly. So, while the listener might be enjoying the gossip, on a deeper level, spreading gossip is a very low-energy behavior. It traps you in the trivial, the negative, and the act of judging others, consuming the attention you should be using for your own growth. The philosopher Socrates proposed his famous triple filter test. Is what you're about to say true? Is it kind? Is it useful? If not, why say it? Being someone who doesn't gossip means becoming a terminal station for information, a black hole, not a relay station. When rumors reach you, they should be like stones dropped into a deep well, no echo, no sound. This creates an immense feeling of safety and trust in others. The payoff from this kind of character is invisible, but huge. Over time, people will instinctively trust you. They'll entrust you with important resources, opportunities, and personal matters, because they know you are safe. In this internet age with no secrets, being tight-lipped has become the rarest form of social currency and the strongest endorsement of your personal character. Not saying is respect for others' privacy and the very shaping of your own soul. The final one, when you're misunderstood, wronged, even slandered, choose not to explain, not to defend yourself. This sounds completely against human nature, right? Our instinct is to crave vindication, to be understood. When misunderstood, our first reaction is to rush to explain, to plead our case, sometimes even with tears. But reality is often cruel. Words are powerless against prejudice. If the misunderstanding comes from a simple lack of information, then explaining can help. But most deep misunderstandings don't come from not knowing. They come from preconceived notions, conflicting positions, and vested interests. People who dislike you don't need the truth. They need an excuse to attack you. Your explanations, in their eyes, will be seen as cover-ups, proof of guilt, or just clever excuses. Psychology has a term for this, the backfire effect. When false information is corrected, if that correction conflicts with someone's existing beliefs, it can actually strengthen their belief in the original falsehood. So, often, the more you explain, the darker it gets. In The Shawshank Redemption, Annie Dufresne is wrongly convicted of murdering his wife. Faced with an unjust trial and brutal prison abuse, he rarely shouts his innocence or hysterically defends himself. He chooses silence, spending 20 years chipping away at a thick wall with a tiny hammer. His silence wasn't an admission of guilt. It was gathering strength, rewriting his ending through action. Historically, when the philosopher Wang Yangming was falsely accused by jealous officials of conspiring with a rebel he had just defeated, he didn't fire off letters defending himself. He chose to retreat, teach, and cultivate his mind. He said, "The sense of right and wrong is known without deliberation and possessed without learning." He trusted that conscience would prevail. And in the end, history vindicated him. In everyday life, for misunderstandings that don't involve major legal or moral issues, explanations are often pointless. Those who understand you don't need them. Those who don't understand you won't believe them anyway. Instead of wasting your precious life energy trying to prove to others that I'm not that kind of person, use that time and energy to improve yourself. Choosing not to defend yourself shows a powerful, stable core. This kind of person doesn't need external validation for their self-esteem. They know who they are and what they're doing. They trust that actions speak louder than words, and they trust in the power of time. When you stop desperately explaining yourself to the world, you gain true freedom. This silence is a quiet form of contempt, and the most sophisticated form of counterattack. It leaves the accuser feeling like they're punching a pillar, with no effect. Simultaneously, it frees you from others' opinions, allowing you to focus on your own path and purpose. This not saying is the mark of a true king, the calm certainty born from weathering life's storms. In our noisy world, where everyone is desperate to speak and be seen, silence has become a rare luxury, an underestimated superpower.